This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh. Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the LinkUp podcast with your host, Mr. King. No, Kana, he's still busy, wherever he is. Wood's probably gonna give you the reasons or the explanation as to where he be, but Kana's not here, and we got Rashid in the building as well, and today we got a special guest here joining us. I probably should have asked you how to pronounce this before we start recording it, because I know it's Rainer.
Yeah, Rainer, the first one.
Okay, then.
People call me Rainer, I don't know why.
Alright, we got Rainer in the building. And the writer of the book Experiment X-Ray. And today he had to, give us a little bit of backstory, talk to us about the book and all of that, promote it, make sure people are aware of what's going on to support, Caribbean authors.
Definitely.
So, since this, I've seen you around before. I know you used to go NBC, so your face is a familiar face and thing to me. But I think this is probably the first time we're actually having like a conversation.
Yeah.
So, for our listeners and stuff, could you give us a little background on who you are? It's on the back of the book that you're from Curacao, or that you was born in Curacao.
Yeah, I was born in Curacao, and then I moved to Semenya with my father, police officer. And then that was when I was 4 years old. And I went to... I don't know if I remember Jolly Dwarf, but I went to Jolly Dwarf.
Me too.
The Clayton, yeah. And then from there we went to Sister Magda. And then after I went to MPC. And then in 2013, I moved to Holland.
2013, so you're up here a while, true?
Bye, too long. I here too long.
What are you studying up here?
To be a gym teacher.
Now that that's done?
Yeah, I finished 2 years ago. And now I work in behind Arnhem, behind Godhead actually. In Avesdale.
So far you work?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it was far. And then I work with a youth detention center, so with kids.
Okay. Interesting. And I mean, another obvious thing that I show people probably ask about is like, what's good with the hand?
So
yeah, I was thinking that, but I was going to wait. Like, ask, how does he write? Like, books now with his hand? Is he left-handed,
Yeah, it's funny, because today I was writing the second book. I was doing, tick, typing, because we don't write anymore, Woods.
Yeah, true.
I was typing it up. But what happened was, I had something going on my finger, I don't know why, and I just kept tired of it, I said, let's cut it off. And then they cut it off.
You cut it off, or you went to a doctor and they cut it off?
Yeah, they cut it off. The doctor cut it off.
Okay.
Some DUI project.
Maybe savage like that. I don't know.
Nah, I ain't that savage.
Take things into his own hands.
Not yet.
Yeah.
My cousin offered, but I said, nah, don't even.
You went the safer route.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like the right choice indeed. Alright, Experiment X-Ray. So, gone to the book, it said that you was a runner as well. How long you was doing that?
Well, that's a good question. That's like second form I used to run up until I basically moved to Holland for the first year, and I was in track and field. Boy, that's a long time. I think like 7 years I've been running. And then basically a lot of people would know me from the running, because that was like the only thing I did. I was like obsessed with it at a certain point. Like,
you only run too.
Every day. Yeah, you've been to some of my of the
meets.
Yeah, but
meets, not the meets, the
even
training.
with when you have the around the island run on Semenya,
Oh yeah,
I would take part. You got the training every Friday and whatnot, so you got to run 7 laps around
Raoul Village?
Yes,
yeah,
Raoul
the track.
Village, the track, yes. So 7 laps around there, see a boy Rashid there struggling. On fourth lap struggling, and I got 3 more to go. Here comes Ryan in the back, overlapping me. To meet me again and overlap me again.
Wow.
Well, that used to happen a lot.
Man was something else. Boy.
So it's a long distance or sprint?
Yeah, long distance. I can't sprint for my life. I run so slow, it's not even funny. So I say, let me just take it long. And actually, I start because of the around the island relay. The first time I started running was, I went to that, I was a little tubby, I ain't gonna lie. And then I realized I could run longer than I thought. And I said, let me try again. And then I got an asthma attack. No, that was the time when I got dengue. And I couldn't compete. I wasn't allowed to run with with the other kids because I was basically dying in this in this mountain house.
I mean, makes sense.
Sounds like you had a good reason.
I had a good reason. So the next year, I was like, you know what? This is my spot because I train, and then for like 2 days before for me to get a knockout, nah. So then I said, let me just train a little extra for the next year. And since then, I've been practicing. They just stick with me to the point where I forgot that I was even doing this for the St. Martin's Day thing, and I just kept running until I went to go do meets outside of St. Martin's, and that was the funnest part, I think.
So you got that runner's high then?
Yeah, like many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
So what was the highest that highest level, I guess, that you competed at?
The Carifta Games. I went to the Carifta Games, and that was the year before I came up. 2012. That was the highest level I competed at.
Placed and
in Bahamas.
I mean,
if I placed?
Yeah.
No, I am trash. I did not know I was such trash until I saw them other people.
How that tournament was though? Like how many people you was competing against? How many rounds? I don't know much about the Carifta Games.
Well, the Carifta Games basically is like all the Caribbean islands all come together and they do not only track and field, but they also have other sports like swimming and basketball and all those other games, sports. And then I was only there for track and field. And when I went down, basically it's like a place where you could show what you have and then maybe get scouted to go into any other part of the sport. When I went, I was sick already, but I said, you know what, I've been training so long, might as well try it out, see how it is.
That was a dengue?
No, not dengue. This was an asthma attack because I have asthma too.
Okay. Boy, I can feel you with that.
You don't feel good at all. So I went there even though I had asthma, and then I overspray because I was like, you know what, if I have to run in 10 minutes, I might as well just put everything. So I used all my thing. My lungs was hurting me the whole day.
Yeah, that's so smart.
I had no idea overspraying was actually a thing.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
It don't feel nice at all. Wow. So
I can't relate.
I had to do like a 5 kilometers. So, and my best time for that was like, I think like 17 minutes, like just under 17 minutes. And I ran 18 something that day and come dead last. I was like, I regret my whole life. I was done with that. I was so done with that. But then after I did realize that what happened was something like, it was really because of my own fault. I was too excited. I gone using drugs to run faster and then kicking me back. And then they just kicked me back in the face. So after that, I did come to the Netherlands, and then I did pick it up again in track and field here. I went to do the Amsterdam Marathon. I had like an 8K, and I was trying to break my time, and I did the 8K in like 28 minutes and something seconds. So I was like, yeah, this is going good, my life going good. I'm gonna become a pro, I'm going to Olympics, boy. You know, I started to show off and thing. And then I had my first encounter with hay fever here in Holland. I never had hay fever before, and then bam, it kicked me down to the floor. Jesus. And I get the asthma attack of my life, and since then they run. They run ever since that. Like even like right now I have hay fever. Let's feel it a bit.
Yo, the hay fever creep up on people in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
When I say you self-asthma, that shit was rough, man. It's still rough. I still get hay fever.
Yeah, it's wicked.
I'm glad I don't learn none of those things.
Yeah.
Because Curacao I couldn't feel it because you got cactus everywhere and I ain't got no flower. It ain't got so much flowers and stuff. And in St. Martin, I didn't really notice it as much. But as soon as I come here, why they got so much tulips? Why?
Yo, the tulips are crazy.
Why you gotta be like that far? like you just looking to crush my dreams alone. Even for me alone, man.
That's to pride yourself on, man.
What? And then
pride yourself on that blue and mark and all them things.
Why?
Oh, yeah, killing people.
Right? Stopping them, trying to stop black people from running. That's the thing. We winning too much.
The tulips
I was just gonna say this part of an orchestrated plan.
Take
right around.
They tried to stop shooting Dino.
The deeper meaning.
Yeah.
Man.
So ever since then, I never run again. Well, only once in a while inside and stuff, but I never run professionally again.
And then you picked up the writing, or where did that come in? Because, I mean, on the back of the book, that's all I got to go off of. I keep quoting it a lot, but I mean, it kind of linked those two things together that I basically put down and then discovered your other passion in this writing thing.
Yeah, well, usually like I said, I was doing long distance, so it'd be like 5K and something. My coach would tell me to do like 15K in one day. I'd be like, why? But okay, go. And besides the beautiful beaches and all the nice trees like on St. Martin, that's a nice view, but if you live there for about 15 years, you're done with that. You don't want to see anything, so you have to think of something. So in my head, I would be like, imagine I could have used fire, right? And then I would have run into the same panel that asked me for $1 yesterday. What would I do? Would I burn him, or would I give him the dollar like lit? You know, like how would I go with this man? How would I react? You know, or I find this girl cute. Okay, how would I impress her with my awesome ice skills, or you know, all them things? That's basically what I'd be thinking when I run and try to keep myself busy, trying not to get hit by a car. You know, just keep myself busy. And from there, eventually I did get one really good story in my head that I keep replaying. And I was like, this is awesome. So I would like come and try to tell somebody about it, be like, yo, this and this would sound cool, right? And they just watch you like, oh yeah, of course. Bye. So because I couldn't bring it out in words properly, so I say, you know what, let me just sit down and bring this out to basically show my fiance now what I talking about. I try to tell the story so long, and she like, okay, now she finally know the whole story because I write it down, and then that's basically how it starts. I write the first chapter, and then I just say, let me continue, and I just keep going ever since then.
True. So, Experiment X-Ray is your first book, and is there more to come?
Yeah, definitely. I was busy writing the second one today, self. Like,
yeah, you mentioned already.
Yeah, even though I was, it is done, but from the feedback that I'm getting from other people, it's like, we need to see this character in it, and I'm like, okay, you know. So what do the fans say? Well, what do people say? Like, who they need to see or what they expect? Like, people that read it would tell me I didn't see so much of development in certain characters. I'm like, oh, okay. So let me try and add this into the book and try to make it, the second one, more professional than this one. Of course, you always want to better yourself. So now I'm adding more stuff. Even though the second one is already finished, I'm like adding at least 10 chapters now. So I was busy with that today.
How long is the second one so far? This one is about 170 pages or something like that from
yeah. Well, I think it's 24 chapters, and the second one already, without adding anything, is 30 chapters. Wow. So now that I'm going to add it, it's going to be like, it should be double this book. And that is the goal, to make it bigger, because the true story is the second book. This is like the build up to the second book.
Yeah.
Okay.
This the second one is we are getting rich.
It's like the second one. It's like Harry Potter with the first book. It's like you read that book, and
this one, it gets you in, and then all the rest is like dictionaries from that point on.
Yeah,
dictionaries out of Bible.
Well, that's basically what I tried to make.
Like the 700, 800 and thing pages. But
then I make an 800 quick book and be like, yeah, no pictures.
Just don't take 4 years to make it though.
No, not yet.
I would just write them all at once and then put all of them out. Like, don't bring on none of them. Well, you're already too late for that.
I got a second and the third one done. So I might as well. Right now, if I wanted, I could go to the publisher now and be like, publish it. But I need to get myself out there first. You know. Yeah, I want to refine it out too. So because I could just throw everything outside, but then, why read the first book if you could just jump straight to the second book, you know? And then everything you put online, and then there goes all my revenue, and then people will laugh at me. I want that.
So, from the name of the book, from what you were saying about the ice powers and superpowers, I assume this is more science fiction than
Yes, definitely.
And is there any, like, what would you say was the inspiration for this? Is there any existing thing that you draw reference from? Like you mentioned ice and fire, like Avatar or X-Men or something.
Well,
X-Ray.
I do watch a lot of anime. I do watch a lot of anime, and Naruto was one of my favorite things growing up. So there is some things that are relatable to Naruto, but the fact that they're using fire and all these elements, that's just something that I was always like interested in. So basically all anime give me that.
Just mentioning Naruto alone, you're like piquing King's interest right now. I think this is his favorite anime.
I don't know what's my favorite anime, but Naruto is certainly high up on the list.
Right? I really like Naruto.
Favorite maybe might be Samurai X, but has like old school nostalgia and stuff attached to that. But Samurai X was just great. But Naruto is certainly high up there.
Samurai X is still great.
Avatar maybe the only thing that if you want to count that as an anime.
Yeah, but that's like
probably
American
the thing
anime.
It's made by a
Yeah.
Japanese studio. Fun fact.
That's fun fact. Is
True.
it? Is it really? Oh, that's dope. I didn't know.
Yeah, near me, but
It's not written by a Japanese person, but the studio part, or it
The
could be
animation
Korra,
studio?
or it could be Korra, or it could be Ang. I'm not sure anymore, but one of those,
That
Story
fact
or
just
the
went from
animation?
fun to.
the animation.
okay.
Oh, I know for a fact because I am doing animations with my book on the side. We're probably going to get into that later, but a lot of animators or these animation studios, you just take you have keyframes. For example, you have a person waving their hand like this. And this is a keyframe, and then this is a keyframe, and all that in between, they just send it to Korea and then do it like super cheap, and then
Really?
that's how that works. Yeah.
Wow.
So most animes, like that's why you always have
It's
like you
basically
see
something like a storyboard type of thing, like the
Yeah.
more or less like a comic almost type of thing, and
like
then
a manga. They just like basically color in the manga and send that, and be like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, but that's why you have like very like qualities of animation and things. Like you have a Studio Ghibli. It's like,
Spirited Away was the one I was talking about.
did it have a dragon in it?
According to me, it does.
That's-
I didn't watch it recently again. and I'm
Wait,
like,
that's not the one with the dog.
Yeah, with a big puffy.
Yeah, that's why.
that's what it was.
Yeah, but it wasn't a
No,
dragon. That's
dragon
why.
dog.
Is that
Dragon.
Totoro? No.
It's a
Spirited-
dragon dog. You'd fly in and shit, so I thought it was a dragon. But anyway, we getting off track.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Princess Mononoke. I just have to mention that we can't talk about Studio Ghibli and me not throwing that in. Okay, let's continue.
So how long did it take from like beginning to end to publishing and finally putting out the process of writing the first book?
Well, starting with the writing itself too, I would say about 2.5 years. It took from putting no pen to paper, but putting starting to
first
type
chapter.
it. Yeah, writing the first chapter in the plane, all the way to a few weeks ago when it got published, and it was a very weird track. As I was doing it, I was getting irritated by capitalism basically, because everybody trying to get your money. I was like, why I really don't have money. Now you want to get my money by making me publish something that you want, but I still got it. Don't make sense. But it took like about 2.5 years, and the writing itself was really fast in my opinion. It was like 7 months to like type it out, because everything was already there. It was a story, just go, just keep just put at it and just keep going. And then refining it, then somebody read it and be like, that was trash, okay, sorry, let me try again. Then like that you keep building up, so that whole process. But the longest was the editing. I think the longest process was editing. So they sent it to me and I sent it back like, no, I don't like this. And then you send it,
And
and
between you and the publisher?
me and the publisher, that took really long.
What type of changes and edits you made between all they wanted? What type of adjustments?
Well, for example, I had a lot more cursing in the book than that than they liked. Like, for example, like it started off with he opens his eyes, where are you? Fuck off. Like, whoa, relax. So you couldn't do that. And I was like, can I cuss on this, by the way?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're not Disney here.
Yeah,
We tried to be. We failed miserably.
No, I don't know if we just tried, but okay.
Nah, well, I type as I think. So immediately I'll be like, okay, this a vowel coming in. No. And I try to type it in. They be like, okay, you have to like pull off the F bombs. Like, okay, cool. Make some editing, and they took off like maybe 70% of the F bombs. I had like slang. I had a lot of slang from Sematan slang, and they were like, I don't think all your readers will understand. And like, all Semataners would understand, and most people that I let read it were Semataners. But then when I gave it to my cousin, for example, who is from Curacao, she'd be like, I don't understand. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe we should edit out some of the slang. So there's like one character that's constantly throwing out slang, but then it's also translated by another character who is there helping him out. So that's how we fixed that a little bit. And then,
Interesting.
depending on how I wrote, because as I was trying to edit the first story, I was writing the second one. So depending on how I wanted the second one to end properly, I was changing the first story in that process, because they have to connect. If they don't connect, it doesn't make sense. So I would add more motives, Like one of the character loves to eat, for example, I'd be like, oh, let me make sure that during the next coming chapters, he's eating here, he's eating here, he's eating here, so that the people that are reading be like, okay, yeah. So those kind of edits, consistency edits,
basically show the personality of the characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they do have a little bit of growth, but not mostly. So the person be like, okay, when he does this is
it makes sense. You expect that from that character.
Exactly. So the character comes to life a little bit. Those were the biggest edits that was coming in.
Interesting. Like, I was just thinking, like, while he was explaining, I was wondering if you, by any chance, saw the podcast we did with Nelly, who was talking about a book, Khashoggi, a book that he's working on, something that's like a graphic novel, and it's like this now the second person, like, from the islands that's working on a book, novel, or, like, being an author, then type of vibe. So it's like, it just made me think like y'all should maybe, I don't know, connect, link up, see if you could assist each other, if you could help, because his own was in a earlier stage, like he was still talking with publishers and stuff like that. At least the last time I spoke to him about it, so I don't know what stage of the production he may be in. He's got like a Facebook page and stuff like that. But yeah, just a random thought that it might be a good idea.
Yeah, of course. I'm willing to link up with anybody from the island for sure.
And how did you go about getting it published? Like, I don't know much about the author and publishing world. How do you come in contact with the publisher?
Between them?
Yeah, it's stupid. You have to. It is like it. It is like I have to be honest, right? Because I know people would be like, no, it was a big journey, and no, you have to be real. I do not enjoy it at all because I would have to send an email and you'd have to literally put your heart out there, be like, I work hard on this, here you go, and they'd be like, they don't answer, and then you just sit there like, okay, great. Then you do the next thing with another publisher. Then you do the next thing with another publisher. And then you do this with another publisher. They'll be like, yeah, we love your book, but it's a scam. Thanks. Okay, another publisher. Wow. And it's another publisher. So you basically just throwing pieces of yourself out there, hoping nobody steal it in the process. Be like, well, it's a good book, and then they go publish it themselves. And then eventually, like, you don't get nothing back. You get no feedback, and you're like, great, you know. So it's a demotivating process. But only tips I could give is just keep at it until one of the publishers be like, "Wow, that was good, but we want to make some edits," and then you work with them into that direction.
So what was different about the one that you finally decided on that you published the book with compared to like most of them that you came across?
Well, I had 3 publishers eventually out of the like 9,000 that I asked. 3 of them was like, okay, we're interested. One of them was a total scam. Of course, I can't say the names. But one was like a total scam. They just wanted everything. The other one was a publishing company that wanted a lot of the rights, like a lot. I was like, what if I become a billionaire? Nah. And then this one was like right in between. So is a company where it's like self-publishing, but they still publish it for you. Understand? So you can go into traditional publishing where they do everything for you, or you can go into self-publishing completely where you have to do everything and the only thing to do is give the book. This was right in between. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go with this one.
Sounds a lot like record labels. I mean, that's where the parallel in my mind drop. Independence versus major record labels and thing. The type of contracts you would get where, like, you would hear artists talking about 360s, where that would just mean you're taking everything you get from publishing, from touring, from every part of the music aspect. They're getting a little piece, they getting something from that. Versus if you go independent, usually you're able to retain your rights, you're able to control your masters. And you just gotta go there and work a little harder because they ain't putting as much money behind it and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm also promoting my book myself, because they have packages where you would have to pay for them to market your book on certain things. And that's the only regret I have, I would say, with working with them, was because when they told me about it, they had make it so nice. They was like, oh, we're going to do this and this and this, and then when push come to shove, it was like, oh God, he actually did finish the book. And then it was like, okay, we can't market this one though. You have to market it yourself, and we're going to do 40% of the marketing. The other 60% you have to do in the Netherlands. So, for example, like in UK, it's being marketed for me. Awesome, thanks. Who you know in the UK? I don't know anybody in the UK. Right? So if I have to do like a podcast or something, I would have to go all the way over there. So that basically almost never works. Exactly. So I was like, how can we get it here in the Netherlands? And they said, nothing. I didn't hear from them yet. So yeah, I basically doing everything in the Netherlands and the St. Martin and Curacao all by myself.
Yeah, I saw that you was on Sincerely Lewis, I believe is the name of the show,
Yeah.
Doing some promotion. I didn't watch the whole thing, but in any other places you stopped by?
You guys, Sincerely Lewis, Laser 101. Also, I was on Laser 101. Of course, my Facebook page that I constantly update. The last few days, I haven't been updating it was because I am working on the animations itself, and that just takes so much time that you can't market and animate at the same time. It's like impossible.
And you're also doing everything yourself, so it's like you only have 2 hands, and one of them is up.
No, we have 1 hand. so now, if you expect the animation to drop in like a month, forget about it. Push it 2 more weeks.
So you working on the animation yourself, like personally drawing them, or
drawing them? Of course, I have references, like a person that's helping me. I shout him out, Tarek. He helping me with how the keyframes look, because I never started animating until like a year ago, so I'm not a pro. So I would have to ask him. He's been drawing from like 2.5, and he's like really, really good at drawing. So I was like, okay, help me animate this. So then we've been working together. I've been outsourcing some shots from other people, and I have to make them connect now and coloring, and so that's basically what I'm doing now.
And the process of the animation is to like make it a series type thing?
Yeah, well, right now the book is the beginning of the big story that's coming up. And I know that we live in a time where books, people don't read. Yeah, people do not read. And I could sit here and promote the book all day, be like, read my book, read my book, read my book. But like we was talking about earlier, if you are not programmed to read a book, you will not finish a whole book this book should be able to be finished in a day. You should be able to finish my book in a day. But people are not conditioned to read that much anymore. Unless you watch a crap load of anime. But then true. Yeah. So you're not conditioned to read that much. So I was like, how can I get people that don't read also interested in reading the book? So I was like, okay, we'll take the main plot line, keep that in the book, pull some plots out of it, and react basically in an animation style. So let's say the main character is having a brawl outside, right here outside your window, just here fighting, and I would make an animation about what we are doing here and how they react to what's going on outside, and how they're talking about basically. Yeah, they'll be like a minute long each, and they'll be like, holy crap, this is they're destroying something outside, I hate this, so that's my character. But I will never show the characters because that's going to ruin the book, and I'm never going to show the plot directly. But let's say if you did read chapter 1 where it said that they were in this area, you'd be like, this is the chapter he was talking about. So those who read the book would get a nostalgic feeling, being like, oh, I'm following this, I remember this happened here and here. And those who didn't read the book would be like, I want to know what's going on. So they go back to the thing.
So you already know like how many of those you plan to make? Or?
Yeah, about 42.
Okay. And how far you are in that process?
I have all the scripts that I have down. I have all the scripts. It's the keyframes and the drawing and the drawing and the drawing. So I know it takes
a lot of time.
A lot of time. Like I made a short of 15 seconds of a guy walking and then high five, and that took me like the whole day without coloring it. It didn't even look nice. It wasn't fluid, so I was like, I hate this. But you have to work a little hard to get somewhere, and this is something that I'm a very impatient person, so this actually teaches me some proper patience and be like, okay, relax, don't try to rush anything, because this is something that if I screw this up, I'm gonna screw up my whole process, the whole book series. I have to hit it precisely on the nail, so it calms me down, or at least slows me down a little bit.
I feel you. You drawing digitally or
digitally? Digitally, I would have a
Photoshop, Illustrator.
No, I'm using Krita because it's free.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm using Krita, and I am using Adobe After Effects.
For animation. True.
I'm using them both because you can't get everything in a free one. And even in the paid ones, you can't get you can't get the same feeling as the animation. So you would have to jump up and down. And people that I'm trying to outsource, people that I outsource for background, for example, they only work with After Effects, or they only work with Toon Boom, and I'm like, why just work with Krita? All I need is a drawing. I pay you for the drawing, and then they give it to me. But then all of these things, so I have to have all of the different softwares, and then
be able to
to work with it. If I had the my drive, I could have maybe showed a little piece, but I have nothing with me right now.
Well, we got one of the books here, so we could show the people them that and stuff. I don't know if it on the camera well and stuff, but this is what a book look like. This is the cover, this is the back. You got a picture of him and a little story and stuff like that. This is my copy that I purchased, but I still have to make it like an official purchase since I ain't paid the man yet.
Smart thing.
2 weeks later, in the comment section, I ain't got paid yet.
It's on camera, so I got to pay you. I mean, the whole world seen it, or at least all 15 of our viewers and stuff, Man, I know this kind of side tons. Just want to shout out, V, because he's actually been commenting stuff. We did mention the fact that nobody don't comment on our videos, and since then I have noticed that at least she's been a consistent commenter and stuff like that. So just want to give her a little shout out there quick. But yeah, I wanted to ask: is there? Or actually, no, before I get there, what is the book about? Because I feel like we ain't even cover such basic topics yet.
We're jumping everywhere.
Yeah.
The book is about, this is where the Naruto thing comes into play. Now you're going to be like, oh, duh. You have Ray, that's why it's called X-Ray. Ray is a character that, a very happy character, and right now he's looking for his father. He has clones. And
Kagebunshin.
So he has clones. They're called soul clones, and that's basically what the whole book is about. He's just looking for his father, and he comes in on the King's Day, and that King's Day is a reference to the King's Day here in Netherlands. That's how I got the idea, actually. He comes on the King's Day where everybody's off, and he comes to talk to his commanding officer and also one of his best friends, and tells him all his secrets, okay, it's time to come clean. I have clones, and I can't spoil the rest. Listen.
But continue. Sorry.
But no, you can go ahead. But it's like that's the small part,
the general outline.
Yeah, the general outline. And he also explains to me that I'm looking for my father. That's the whole reason I came to this land in the first place.
The last thing that should happen is the author of the book spoiling the book.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I legit wanted to stop. He's like, okay, cool. I'm planning on reading the book. Big man.
I did. I spoiled it once. A person asked me, so what is the book about? And I was like, and I just spoiled the whole book. And they're like, okay, thanks. Now are you gonna buy it? No, I ain't gonna buy your book.
I'm gonna wait for the second book.
And then I spoiled the second book too.
See, at least it's good you're learning from it.
Exactly, but it's her own fault, because I was sitting. You were sitting in a cafe, and she was like, "Oh, so you're writing the book?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm writing the book. What's it about?" And I was like at the ending of the second book, so I was hyped. I was like, yes, and it's dropping like in a week. So I was like, it's about this and this and this, and then she kept asking like, and I'm like, and I kept telling her to spoil the first one. She's like, and it's done? Of course not. And then I continued to the second book. I did not ruin the third book, so maybe I'll get a sale there. But yeah,
So when is the second book coming out though?
I'm hoping to get it out at the same times as the animations are coming up, because basically what is going to happen is each animation is going to take a chapter of the book and be placed around the chapter. So chapter 1 is basically an intro, so it's going to be an intro in the animation, and then chapter 18, for example, is a fight, and then it's going to be around the fight up until the release of the second book.
Okay.
So in the book there are events that are happening, and that they're going to continue to happen after the book has finished, because there's going to be a time skip between the first and the second book. And in that time skip, I'm going to be adding animations of what's happening now, how is it looking, why this, up until the day where I release the second book, and then the animations stop for a while until the second book gets fed. to the little birdies that are buying the books, you know, and then I will see how far I get from there. I'm hoping by then that I can get a studio to start
doing the animation.
So I can
focus on stuff that you actually
focus on
enjoy.
the third book and, you know, just live my life and retire at the age of 27. That is that is my dream.
You see, now that leads me to ask this question: how successful has the book been so far? You said it. I mean, if you don't.
Well, what I thought that it was going to be way worse than it's going now. So I was like, I'm really happy with the way it's selling because in the UK it's actually selling more than it's selling right now. And I bought with my own discount, my author's discount. I bought like 50 books, and then with those 50 books, I was like, the prices are way too high that they're asking for the book. It's like, if you look on ball.com, it's like 20 something euros or 20 euros.
Really?
And I was like, that's like a stupid amount of money. Why? And I'm a new author. Why would you put it so high? And then I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a crap load of books myself and sell them for lower. So I took that and I'm selling. That's how I sold this one for $12.50, and then and that's how I'm selling it to friends and family and people who in the Netherlands want to get it. So people from St. Martin who's been buying the books, I have I think 12 copies left from the 50. In the when did I release this? In April, I think. So it's.
True.
Are we're in May already, right? Yeah, I think it's beginning.
The 3rd of May, right?
End of April, beginning March, around the 28th of March. I think I released the book and I actually got the books and I started selling. And in that time, I sold like 30 something, and I'm happy with that. It was physically.
How does the publisher feel about that? Because I don't. For some reason, I don't imagine that they would be happy. I assume. That the price is the price so that they could recoup whatever they're making from promoting it in the UK or whatever.
See, that's the thing. They did tell me to do this in the sense of, but the fact that they tell me to do this is like double on, you know? It's like we put the book really high, you put the price really high so that you can buy books and sell them yourself because they're wicked. That's how they assure that they have sold a certain amount of books. You understand? So it's like, why you gotta be like that for though? Like you could have just sell the book, but they have to make sure that they sell a certain amount of books. So they were like, okay, in the Netherlands you can sell them yourself for a cheaper price. It's too high. Go ahead, here you go, and then you buy it yourself and then you sell them. So that's how it's been working on my side. And then whatever, and then so they cover the debt. And then they can do whatever they want with the prices on that side if the book is flowing the right way, etc. And that's how. Now you understand why I hate capitalism a little bit. I hate. Spoiler alert! Because in the second book, at least in the second book, one of my biggest motivators are. I hate corporations. We can destroy them. I hate it. Absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely sound frustrated with
Yes, I do not like it at all.
situation, yeah.
I do not like it. Well, but it's a learning experience because now with the second book, hopefully this one I have about a year and a half to promote it and continue until I plan to drop the second one. And hopefully by that time I will not make the same mistakes that I made coming up with this one. You know? So it's a learning process. That's why I'm glad that I came up with a small one first and not a huge dictionary like you said earlier.
I'm really curious to see how the animations go. I mean, I need to add you on Facebook or IG or where are the animations going to be posted?
I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and eventually I'm going to turn it on because right now it's like off with nothing inside. So once I made the intro, which is supposed to come out very soon. When I made the intro, I'm gonna be like, okay, this is the YouTube channel and this is what we're doing, and I'm gonna make a next video too. And that's when I want to, because I don't want to make it that I only post once every 5 months. I want to keep consistent. So even when the intro is done, I want to be at least almost done with the third one. Yeah. So then it's like, okay, the first one is done, the second one is almost done, and the third one is in the same process. At least I have like a schedule, like, you know, every 2 weeks I post. So once I got that, I have that strictly put down. I would be like, okay, now it's time to release it. Because I don't want to just throw it out there and be like, okay, when it's time, it's time.
I mean, So it sounds like you're approaching. All I'm hearing is good things, in my opinion. To me, sounds like you're approaching this thoughtfully, like you're putting the right amount of thought into how you're gonna release it, and like that. Like I said, the animation idea to me that sounds really interesting. Kind of not exactly the story, but kind of like parallel in the story type stuff.
It's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
It's a good way to promote something without spoiling the stories. Especially if you like, I love watching movies. Like it's my hobby, and these trailers have been crazy.
Ruining the whole movie for you, right? Yeah,
they spoil the whole movie. But the thing is, I think where it's helping you is that you're actually making the quote-unquote animation/trailers. Because what tends to happen is that you have a marketing agency that makes the trailers, and they just
show everything because people like to see this. That's the thing, that the marketing. Let's not get into that again. I will rant for another hour.
So it sounds like you're not satisfied with the promotion that they're doing, or
not like the fact that I'm doing it by myself. That's the only frustration that I have. Honestly, like I wish, like.
You aware of what type of promotion they're doing in the UK though?
Yeah, about this, the same thing as I'm doing. A lot of Facebook things, social media, and then they would send an email and a copy of the book to, not a copy physically, but then like a digital copy to different like radios and stuff, and then they would try and get in contact with me, and I'd be like, I can't come. So it's like I have gotten a few offers like, okay, can you come on this, and I'm like, I have to work, I cannot make time to go there, and with that I'm planning a wedding at the same time, so I am broke. Yeah, that's just it's a rough time. It's a tough time to come out with a book right then. If I had done it, and which I do plan to do, to release a Dutch version here, because people that I have talked to, in Curaçao, for example, they don't speak as much English as I thought, but it's like, duh, you live on St. Maarten. So they was like, okay, maybe a Dutch version would have been better. It's like, okay, so if I do publish one in Dutch here in the Netherlands, I would be able to oversee how the marketing goes better. But over there, I can do so much because I'm not there. I can't cuss nobody. I can't slap nobody if they can't see my face behind the phone. Because I'll be screaming on the phone, but they can't see it.
Yeah, they can't see the rage in your eyes.
Exactly, they can't see me threatening them. Not yet. How dare you?
Remember, you also telling me that you also wanted to like promote at events like Comic-Con or
yes,
like that.
Definitely, there's one in end of August in Germany.
In Germany, okay.
Yeah, so in Germany, and I was like, I wanted to bring some of the copies there and promote it here in Europe. But then at that point, it would be very smart to at least be like, okay, the Dutch one is coming out. Then I will have more zekerheid. I would know for sure that I have a Dutch one coming out. But that's more of the plan. To once I have that like put down exactly, then I know what to do, what I'm going to do.
You already start contacting people to translate it, or however you plan to go about that, or the publisher would handle that?
The publisher, I'm keeping this publisher out because as soon as, at the end of the day, this is a good thing with having an agency that's still kind of self-publishing, that at the end of the day, it's 100% my rights, and if I say leave, they will leave. And leave me with my book. Yeah, I left with the book, but no marketing agent, no name to put behind, So that's a little bit the problem. And then they always have printing rights, sadly. But besides that, I have I don't really want to do it myself, so I'm looking for somebody that wants to basically market it for me, because the translating is something that needs to be edited and translated, but that's a cost that a publishing agency doesn't put upon themselves. They let you do it, because I can't come to a Dutch publisher and be like, I have a book but it's in English, want to translate it? You can't do that. You have to have it translated first. So when you have it translated like that, then I can try and get a traditional publisher to work with the book. So what I'm hoping is that somebody comes to me and be like, Rainer, I have a bunch of money, give me a crap load of the percentage, here you go, I'll translate it myself, or not myself, I'll get it translated, and then when they publish it, I'll leave a deal of the rights with them. I'm looking for what do you call that?
Where to go for
junior partner.
I had a whole completely different word in my head, and we're not going to mention it on the link up.
But I mean, you considered stuff like that, crowdfunding and whatnot, to help maybe cover certain costs, like getting it translated or anything like that, getting it animated or whatever.
No, I didn't even think of that.
And I was like, with a GoFundMe page, the Kickstarter, start the campaign for the Experiment X-Ray. Everybody support it, donate some money if you want to see the second one come out sooner, because they need to get this stuff animated, you know.
He was just stressing about doing everything on his own.
Duh.
I mean, you know, if you feel like he could send out 25% consultancy fee, just saying, you know.
Straight to the link up.
I don't even know how that never crossed my mind. I did not. Yeah.
Idea. I mean, something to contemplate for the.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Like, I legit was not going to give up on...
Or Patreon or something like that.
Yeah, on the Patreon.
One of those things.
But I wasn't going to give up on the rights of the book, for example, because I was talking to my cousin, my sister, and I was like, listen, if you want some of the rights for the book, you can have it. You just get it translated. And you deal with the marketing up here, because I don't want to see it. Just let me know when it gets sold, when it's getting out there. Because basically, part of my goal is just to get it as widely popular as I can. So when the second book drops, it drops like
you can actually make some money and stuff off of that one. Once people know about it and stuff. And
exactly. So who is the person running this book in the Netherlands, and who's running it on the island, and who's running it in the UK, isn't really that important as long as I get my share, I would say. But the second book is what I'm really fighting for. You know, that's so. But what you said about that, the Patreon stuff, yeah, because animators are not cheap. Animators are not cheap. Nobody wants to sit down and make this hand movement with like 24 frames from here to here, and then another 24 frames from here. Same drawing over and over. Nah, nobody wants to do that for free. So people charge like a crap load.
Yep. Not just that, even translators, and then there's translators' rights and all of that.
Yeah, translators also they charge per word, and this book is like what 27,000 words, and then no, relax, it's like 0.08 cents. So this like is less than a cent, but eventually that times 20,000, it adds up to like 2K. So it's like, where would I get this money out?
Like. I know you're trying to do it in a way the least work possible in other areas, so you could focus on like the main things, like writing the rest of the books. I mean, you consider like seeing how much you get done yourself from. I mean, I'm sure you speak Dutch, you went NPC and things like that. Yeah. We in Holland, so I mean, I'm sure you could do. It might not be like professional level. It might still need. It probably can still need editing and stuff like that till you make it. You know.
Oh, to write the book myself.
The translation. I mean, just the translation aspect to translate from English to Dutch, like.
Again, I did not think of that either. But I think it's because I thought my Dutch is subpar. Like, you know, I can write Dutch.
But then at least it's like, to me, I just see it as that way you cut down on some words. Like, let's say you translate most of it, or what you know, the parts that you could do easily because you speak the language and thing. And then, certain parts, it might be a spreekwoord or something like that. Where you need
they change it up.
Yeah, something like that.
That's actually a really good idea. Of course, time is no consultancy fee, but time is a very scarce thing, especially now. But that is something that I am willing to think about for sure. Like,
or a friend, like I don't know if you got some Dutch friends and things. Just help a buy out, do 20 pages.
Yeah, but for real though, the way you say it like that, that's exactly how I'm doing the shots for the animation. Because you have a shot, for example, this angle. It's like a scene. It's like a 2-second scene, and I paid somebody per second, for example, or per frames that they did for this scene, and I have another shot from that angle, but then it's a totally different person that's doing it. So I'm like, okay, this angle I want. That's how I'm doing the animations, but I could do it for the translation too. Like, you do this chapter, you do this chapter, you do this chapter, and I edit it all with one person.
Is there any concern about consistency with animations with doing it that way though? Like, is there a kind of base formula that you handed off so that it's like you have to
follow this? Yeah, of course we have the character we have characters that are supposed to look like this and they can't change. And the style that we are using is a very basic style. So if the artist strays away from it, of course I won't take it, because why would you make it look like anime if it's supposed to look like Charlie Brown, you know? Like that's a totally big difference. Yeah. So I would only take people on that could handle this thing.
Like, so me go like look at some of the previous work and stuff. That
Exactly. Do some research first. And I have like I said, Tarek, he is basically looking over everything, and he's like, okay, this is a problem with consistency, because you need to fix how his head looks here, because I don't see that myself, because I haven't been in the animation thing very long. Yeah, but he sees immediately because the first one starts with a bird, that the bird looks different. Like I'm like, this looks like a seagull, this is an eagle. I'm like, what? It looks like a bird. He's like, yeah. So if you look at the beak and you look at the tail, you can see the difference between this and this and this. And I'm like, no, it's a bird. Okay, thanks. Let me go draw this whole thing over again, and then So I'm glad I have him on the team for sure to be helping. But even so, the more animators I have that will be helping me, the better it is, because right now I'm asking companies to help me, and companies are stupid expensive. Like why you don't want to see a nigga grow? Like why?
You gotta make your money.
Why they got E2?
It's a business,
right? Yeah. Business is tough, but
that's people like a draw. I'm trying to think if I know any animators like proper.
That's the thing. A lot of people can draw. A lot of people can draw. They be like, "Oh, I can draw real nice," and things. They'll be like, "Okay, can you animate?"
Like a few people maybe that might be able to do what I imagine you asking for, but I
know animators, but they work like in the gaming industry and things. They make games.
One of the people that I'm working with is working the gaming thing. Please, if you have contacts.
I mean, Woods know everybody. Well, Woods know a lot of people. So
I mean, I do work in the film industry, so it blends.
Yeah,
that's sweet. That's sweet. That's dope.
Yeah,
you work in the film industry, you say? Did I say animation? I meant live action.
See, looking for actors and working on the casting next then.
Yeah,
the next one.
But for real, like, would that be something that is down the line you considering, or you would consider doing as well? Like, if you were to bring this to like
Stanley
live
level
action type of, I don't know, a series or a short movie or something.
Well, I've been asked that same question, because it was like, okay, if the animation, why did you choose animation instead of just like maybe an audiobook or something like that? And I was like,
that was another question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
audiobook.
Well, the reason was because I believe in animation you can get certain feelings and certain facial emotions. You can only get those things out, but like in live action you can't get that unless you have a perfect actor. And a perfect actor is with anime you can get the weirdest things out.
Expressions is so over exaggerated, and
but
like
what you see
and drama and everything is so like, it's a different vibe you get from live action.
Exactly, and with live action they are much the critics, at least your audience is much less understanding. So they be like, oh, this don't look real,
this person can't act, this person can't act.
Especially
but you can't go and be like Charlie Brown can't act.
Especially if you're using CGI and thing like, you all see the Sonic trailer that came out.
Oh god.
I was just thinking more like, if you look at some like South Park for example, it's the wackiest animation, like the most terribly, but nobody cares. They just love South Park because the story and the type of stuff, the stories you could tell with the animation is so hilarious and over the top and ridiculous that
that's what I believe.
But it's also unique though. Like the South Park animation is
the cartoon cutout type, the paper cutout type thing.
Super unique. So I like the aesthetic though.
Yeah, but that's why I chose to do animation, because I believe if the story is good, doesn't matter how your animation looks. Of course, it can be total trash, but if
especially with like animate, if you're going for like an anime type thing, then
then they're gonna beat you up. They'll be like,
people want Dragon Ball Z type fight scenes and things like.
We got overdo it.
Like, and you even have people like, yo, Dragon Ball Z ain't like Dragon Ball Z no more.
Yeah, I always got haters. I don't know why we can't just love each other, dog, and give me all the money. That's all I want.
I think if everybody walk around thinking that same thing, nobody gonna want to give anybody money.
Exactly. But now it's funny.
Each other. That's what we do in here. That's what we do in here. Like, you see young people with some talent doing dope shit, get them a platform, help them make their dreams come true, help promote it, get the word out there, all of that. I mean, that's what we are trying to do.
Thanks. Appreciate it. From the young people out there, thanks for all that.
The old people do. The old people too.
Yeah, young people don't care. But it's true because I was talking to Lewis when we were talking about it. We ended up on that discussion where I was telling him where the character.
We have Lewis on the show at some point.
You had him on the show?
I think got to have him on the show.
Yeah, for sure. He's a really cool guy. Like we spent 4 hours filming and doing the interview.
I mean, it was the final one was in like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like the final video.
But that's because we started off. As soon as I walked in, we started talking. And then we was like jump over everywhere, and then we film it, and then we had to refilm and refilm. And, it was fun for sure. I don't regret doing it at all. But he's a really dope dude. Like for sure, you should get him on the show. About that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's an invitation.
Fun. Yeah, come by.
Someone like a demand.
You were saying you was getting into the conversation with him about
awesome. About what the character is, what the center of the book is, what the belief of the character is, and one thing that I really do believe, what I cannot stand, what we are living in now, is that people are always trying to help with a little bit of trying to help themselves, and of course I catch myself doing it sometimes too, but. It's hurtful, the fact that happens. Like nobody actually wants to help somebody because they want to help somebody, or at least not a lot of people that exist. So I was telling him that, because we was just talking about it just now. I was telling him, like, for example, if I pray for you, right, and you don't have to pray for yourself anymore. Like, why would you pray for yourself if everybody else already praying for you? And with that mentality, I don't have to pray for myself either, because I know, you got me. So why you have to be thinking about yourself if your people around you got you? That would be a much less selfish way of thinking. That's the main idea that my main character has, and that's what he's going through the whole book with.
Sounds like Luffy.
Damn it.
I can't comment. All I know is this dude is stretch. That's all I know about Luffy.
Here's a big word. I beg to differ because Luffy is if I have to compare the characters, they are totally different, because Luffy is he is still selfish in the sense of he does exactly what he wants when he wants
all the time.
But my character.
True.
I legit wrote it down. I was like, my character, what's important when you're writing him is that he will go out of his way to help somebody. He will go out of his way, put himself in problems just to keep somebody happy, not even to help them, just to make sure they're not sad or they're not mad.
But I don't want to nitpick now, but it doesn't, like, Luffy's a contradicting character.
Yeah.
So he says something, but then what he does
is different.
It's completely different. So he says, like, I'm a selfish guy, blah, blah, blah. I don't save people. And then what he ends up doing, he saves people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But I was like a totally different. I think it's a totally different character, though.
Yeah. I haven't read the book yet, so I can't judge.
Oh.
I'm going to read it, though. You're going to hear from me.
That's really good. I waited. The more feedback I get, the better, because, like I say, as people telling me things, I'm like, I'm taking it into account. I'm not just being like, thanks, I already have the book though. I'm legit taking it into account. Be like, yo, thanks for the feedback. You want me to fix this? You want me to change this? Didn't make no sense. Duh, I will change it. Thank you.
Like, just the way Wood say that, like, just prepare yourself, because it's so. Would sound like he will come for you. Like, you read one chapter, he don't like something.
Why you gotta be black?
This is the first time I'm going to read a book where I know the author now. I legit know who he is now. So I can be like,
yeah.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
Like, I still waited on Jojo R. Martin to release his next book in the Game of Thrones of Song of Ice and Fire book line. And this man, look, the show is finishing, and this man telling us that for the next 2 to 3 years, don't expect the next book to come out there.
Patience,
they're coming though.
Patience,
they're coming.
Patience, he got to make a little bit of animation.
You know what was the last time the book came out? I've been waiting for 6+ years.
Patience.
You get it?
More patience.
Yo, this man's 70 years old and this man ain't got much time left.
I showed that book already finished.
No, the way he explained how his process works, like the main storyline is done, but that's how the show finishing, because the main storyline is done. But the problem with Game of Thrones is there's not 1, there's not 2, there's not 3, there's 4. There's like 7 to 8, 9, 10 different stories, and all
like different families. Which house of Targaryen or these people and
yeah. And there's like legends and like all of these stuff needs to conclude, and this man ain't getting any younger, dog.
That leads me to a question about your book. Like, what is kind of the, like you mentioned the clones, and I'm curious about like the magic system as in this book, or like the world of powers and stuff.
How
like,
it works?
Yeah. Like,
no.
Talk about it without revealing too much about it. Like,
is there a system?
A system, yeah.
Yes.
Like this is thought out. Okay. I've thought out everything. Like legit, I sit there and be like,
do they use chakra to use the things, and it's something like, and that's what I'm just trying to get.
It's in that direction. They're called soul skill. You have soul essence, is what it's called. The way I got that idea, fun fact, is the saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. That's how I ended up, because I was really focusing on the eyes of my characters a lot, especially during the animation, and because I had the thought of animating it before I had the thought of writing the book. So as I was like really trying to get the character, how he's supposed to look, I was focusing on the eyes. I was like, well, what would I call this energy that they use? And I was like, you know what, soul essence. Boom. I legit Googled a little bit, like what's another word for energy, what's another word for this. So that took like 2-3 hours until I finally got it, and I didn't even get it from Google because I was laying down. I was like, duh, soul essence, and I got it in. And they use the soul essence is basically the energy that they have, and the soul skills are the powers that they have, the things that you use. So you would have a fire soul skill, or you'd have an ice soul skill. And the thing is, these energies are, the powers are being taught to a child or a baby. So, for example, if you wanted to learn fire, you could learn fire when you want to learn it. Problem is, as a child, and this is where I used my knowledge from school, from how you teach somebody to run or walk, or etc., from gym. Basically, what I did was, when you have a child, it would learn ice skills, but because it already learned that first thing, it cannot unlearn it. So he will always, whatever he does will stick to fire. Like, so it will be, ice. It would stick to ice. So he learned at the age of 2, which you have no control over because you can't choose. You would just see something, be like, okay, and ching, you're ice. And then from there, you're ice for the rest of your life. And then you just go all the way up until you die, basically. That's how it works. And I will not spoil it. Never mind.
Don't, like, it sounds dope.
Just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
From my understanding, it sounds more like an X-Men type of something than like a Naruto, in terms of the way like everybody could use any jutsu. In Naruto, at least, is anybody could use any jutsu. Here, at least how I understand it, is like if you're this, and you kind of just develop within that field. So like you're an ice user, then you just kind of refine your ice abilities, type of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a it is. I understand where you were going with it, but there is in the it's in the first chapter, and that is revealed already. So anybody, so it's not a spoiler. But what it is, he has clones, and after the clones split up, they say we'll never meet again until you learn another S skill. And then it's like, okay, so we're never gonna meet again. Eventually they all learn a different S skill. So next to the main the main S skill, they each learn a second one. So there's one that uses fire and lightning. So it's like, how does this happen? And without spoiling the book, I will not say anything else. But then that's how it moves forward.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely curious to read, and I want to see where everything goes, since you've been so, you learn from your past mistakes with giving out too much spoilers. I'm definitely curious to read the book. Yeah,
and stop digging the man for more things.
It's good because
I understand.
I understand, but at the same time, I want to read the book.
I'm trying to think of what questions am I forgetting to ask? What information about the book are we missing? we got the price. We know it's already out. The website so people could make to find the book or get in contact with you.
experimentxseries.nl is the website, official website, but I would prefer the Facebook. Just come on Facebook. That's where I'm the most active
Facebook
on.
Page for the book itself as
yes, for the book, for the whole series actually.
Or you rather them contact you personally, your own personal Facebook, or the Facebook for the book?
Facebook for the book. Yes, Experiment X series. That's it. That's Experiment X series because the next one is called Experiment X Kami, and the next one is called Experiment X Joy. So it stays Experiment X, Experiment X, Experiment X. It stays a series.
Wait,
I see.
now we're gonna ask.
If it's spoiler, I will just look away.
Okay. So all the names, right?
Yeah.
Do each clone have a different name?
Yes.
Okay, then I already know.
Yeah, this is Ray.
Okay.
Then you have X-Ray, and then that's how it continues. Of course, they all have the same name, but because this is the fun part about writing a book about with clones is you don't forget that they have the same genotype, the same genotype, the same genes. So they're the same person. They just went to a different place. So you have to change the phenotype. You have to change the outside, how they look and how they act. Exactly. So that was really fun in making them. So and making them interact with each other, you have to be like, okay, how would he react if this one said this and he was living here. That's how that's a bit how you play with it. And how did he get the name, etc. That's
is there were the characters based on anything? Like, did you pull it from his own? Is the character's name Ray? Well, he's the first one.
Yeah.
It's somewhat autobiographical that there's parts that you pull as it kind of mirrors your own real life.
Well, all the clones are based off of me, all of them, and they're not sins of my life, but you know how you have 7 deadly sins and they get the names because of what they did.
Particular
and stuff
aspects or traits that they kind of embody.
Yeah, well, that's how I separated the clones. Like, I could have chosen to do 19 clones, I could have chosen to do 2. And the reason I come by 5 was because I chose the most irritating or things that I would like to change about myself, and I split them up into literally things that I went a bit on a journey.
Over exaggerated version of
directly.
Directly, okay.
Yeah, because I went on a journey. Before I went, I wanted to propose to my fiance 2 years ago already. But then before that, my boy Jolan, he suggested you should find out who you is before you go and bring anybody else into your life. And I was like, duh, that makes sense. Yeah, so I was like, that makes sense. Let me find out who am I. And I come to find out I'm very annoying. I am talkative. I found all the bad things about myself, but I also found the great things about me. And I was like, okay, let me try and section them off. And then you get all the characters. You get Ray, for example, is the one that always trying to please people. I am a people pleaser. You want me to do this? I will do it, even though it is annoying to me. I would be like, okay, I will do it. I say yes immediately. Then you have Colt, that's extremely loyal. I am a very loyal person, and I rarely do anything off the I would never disrespect. In that sense. Then Toby, I am then more of a pacifist. I don't see a need for war. I don't see peace is love. I into that. Not super hippie, but I am non-violent. Even though I did do taekwondo and judo and those things, but I don't see
it's more of a sport than
it's more of a sport than actually looking for beef outside on the road. That, and then you have Kami, who is basically just the same thing as Ray, just slightly different because he thinks it through intelligent one. That happens not all the time, doesn't always happen, but it is a very important part of me that shows how I got when I got here, how I actually thought how about coming to Holland and going out, taking risks. That's what Kami is. And then you have my favorite one, which is Remy. And that is the absolute first thought that comes into my head when anything happens. Doesn't matter what it is. For example, if some lady would trip and fall, the Remy in me would be like, fuck up, boy. And I would start to laugh, and that is Remy. That's the first thing that comes into my head.
Sound like Kana.
But of course, that it goes through a filter. Like that the Remy thing goes through a filter because you can't laugh at her because the pacifist says don't do it, and then I make a decision, and that's how I basically got all the characters by splitting up something that happens. I split it up in sections.
And like physical personifications of certain characteristics of yourself.
You filter them all out. Interesting.
That's how I got all the characters, and then but it's fun. It was really fun because I got to really find out how I would react if I would shut off all the other filters, and then that's why I really like Remy, because even now it's the first thing that comes into my head. You cannot switch it off. It's exactly it's me. It's
just
me.
raw, unfiltered.
Exactly. And that's why he's the funniest one, because he's violent. He's crazy. And I believe everybody have that inside them. Just we are faking it enough to pass in culture.
More or less.
Some people don't have that though.
Yes, people don't have it, but
some people are better at masking it than others.
But I believe that everybody should unmask it so that they can at least be themselves, you know? Because I do work with kids that are depressed and those kind of things in the juvenile detention, because they're either violent to themselves or violent to others around them. And I see that pretending to be somebody that you're not, literally pretending to be somebody that your parents want you to be or society wants you to be, that just depresses everybody. Why? But just let your inner you come out. I'm not saying go do a backflip if you can't do a backflip, but I'm saying if you think something or you want to do something, don't do it because everybody else expects it of you.
Except for those of you that want to shoot people, please don't don't do that, please.
If you're into that shooting thing,
like you said with the Remy example, they need to go through certain filters can't bring it back in.
Yeah. Just go through the right filters, don't go through the stupid ones. But that's the hardest part, especially for teenagers, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly something that I could agree with from like times in my life when I've done that type of vibe, and it's like I just wasn't necessarily being fully me because you're concerned about what people might think about certain stuff.
Yeah,
I think that happens to everybody. Just when you're going through, the teenage years is when you're most influenced by your peers,
even
especially.
beyond that to some degree.
Yeah.
Even beyond that, as a grown up in certain ways, I feel like there's lots of people who is like parents is one of the big things for a lot of people. Is like, well, my brother's a teacher. I mean,
I feel you.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I grew up. My house was a weird house. Grandfather a pastor, mother a teacher.
What?
My father just weird.
no occupation, and he just weird.
No. I mean, he weird. He weird.
He was weird.
But I wanted to ask something though. How do you end up in the Juvenile Correction Center or Youth Detention Center? I forget what you refer to it as.
Youth Detention Center. How do I end up in it? Like,
from like gym teacher, if that's what you study.
Oh, but I'm still a gym teacher in that. I teach gym in it. But of course, I could go into Basis Hall primary school, or I can go into high school. I can also teach MBOs. HBO I can't teach, and I can choose what kind of special needs I can work with. So basically, I have a very rhyme thing. So we have to test them all out. But in my opinion, I'm a very energetic person. I like to move. I like to scream. I like to be there. That's what I like. So when I'm working with a class with 30 kids that listen to you exactly when you tell them, yo, go sit down, and they go sit down, and it's like, okay, go do this, then they do it perfectly. It's like, why? That is so boring. That is lame. That is like lame. So I was like, I had to find some kids that would give me some strength. So some kids would like fight me a little bit. So I went to special bass on the rise, where the kids would put on some strength, but not enough. I find it wasn't enough. I was like, they would listen because
like just we'll continue.
Well, it's basically because they would listen to you, but they wouldn't remember. So it's a lot of repeating. You would get to know the same character over and over and over and over. Oh, this kid works like this. If I do this and this and this, he does exactly what you want to do. So at the end of the day, it's like a little puzzle you put together, and once you figure it out, it's done. Here at the detention place, the kids dry every 6 months. So I get totally new people every 6 months. And so it's like, this one killed somebody, this one did this. How do you get him to sit down? You know? How do you get him to do a handstand? So I've had kids that come up into my face like here, and I just like, oh my god, he's going to knock me the hell out. It didn't happen, thank God, but it does give me another
adrenaline.
Not adrenaline, more like a reason to come back the next day. You know, it's like, okay, I couldn't get him today, but then tomorrow we gotta do the same thing again. Watch, go home, think about it. How would I do this, and this? Give me a reason to come to work. Because if I know that if I walk into the class and I say I flute, everybody sit down, and I say we're going to do this, I might as well just do it while reading the book. I might as well just be on my phone the whole time.
So you run a little friction.
Yeah, I need a little. Right now, where I work now, I cannot put on my phone because it will get stolen. But I cannot put on my phone at all. I cannot go on my
It
phone.
took me a couple of seconds for me to process that.
Yeah, but I cannot do anything. I cannot let them free. There's a lot of control I have to have, and that gives that keeps me busy. You know, and because I will dream, I will disappear, and then people gonna fall and break their hand, and be like, be like, oh no,
You write a whole nother story.
exactly. I'm writing a whole other story. Yeah, so that's how I end up in the youth detention thing, because it's basically for a challenge for myself, and of course the kids are way funner. They are way more like, how do you say,
Challenging?
not challenging, not the disrespectful, but the real. You know. Like, a kid would be like, oh, thank you for helping me this year. Give you a box of chocolate. You know it's the mother buy the chocolate for you. You know that the mother tell them, don't forget to thank your teachers.
Yeah.
If these kids come up to you and they be like, yo, thanks for helping me,
You know it's genuine.
you know it's genuine. You'd be like, I actually make an impact. I actually help somebody.
Like, you feel it's also kind of like preaching to the choir in a way, like with the other students versus at the youth detention center, where it's like the people there, they actually need you more in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. Even though they don't want to admit it, at the youth detention center, they wouldn't want to be like, yo, we need you to do this and this and this, because you would have to tell them what they need, but they're teenagers, so they don't want to hear what they need. But yeah, that is more definitely by them they need it more, because most of them grow up in a either they didn't grow up in a home at all, or they're orphans, or they end up in a whole drug environment, and now we just pull them out of there. So the blank sheets, the only thing they know is wake up, sell drugs, go sleep. That's all they know, and maybe eat McDonald's. But then wake up, that's all. So now we have to teach them, okay, you could do this if you're bored. You could do this if you're bored. You could find this is a passion. You could figure this out. Oh, look, you have talent. And then you see a whole new person come out. And the only thing you have to do is hope that they think about you after they leave the center, because in 6 months they could go back into the street.
They could relapse.
Yeah, they could relapse. But you have to just hope that they don't relapse. Like, I've met some of my students, I think like 2 months ago, and of course I can't say the names and stuff, but I met my students walking, and I'm like, how is it going? And they'd be like, it's going good. I'm not in jail. I'd be like, thank you, you're not in jail. Because that's like one of the small goals. Be like, you didn't hit nobody today? No, thank you. That's all I need to hear. Fine.
So you actually feel like you're making an impact.
Exactly. Definitely. But then I also met children that, okay, where do you live? I don't have a house. Be like, why? Go by your mother. No, where my mother live all the way on the other side of Holland. What are you doing here? And they high. You see them like high as F. So it's like, okay, how do I? Then you feel a bit like a failure, but you know.
Yeah.
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah, exactly. How do I reach these kids? And
What movie that from?
That's
from Cartman.
But then I think the funniest part have to be the fact that I could cuss.
True.
So there's no holds barred.
I can't. You can't hold nothing back.
They kind of they respond a little, I guess, a little better to a little more aggression, the realness, kind of just saying how it is.
Because if you fake it, they're gonna know one time. Like, they literally could smell it. Like, we just talk, teachers that talk and make fun about it, but I believe it's true. Like, I had a teacher that came in, and she was there because you always have a buddy, right? So you'd be with two people, and her buddy was like, I have to go copy something. You could take the last hour by yourself. It was like almost like maybe 45 minutes, 40 minutes, because she still was in the middle of the hour. You say, finish it. She went, come back, And then the Hitler sign, the Hakenkreis. Kids draw that all on the walls, and they were screaming and cussing, and they chatting her, and she leave.
She lost control.
She's frightened for her life.
Yo, she never come back to school now. Like, she leave a letter and saying that I never coming back. I was like, oh, it was your first day though. It was your first day.
That kind of environment isn't built for everybody.
It was your first half an hour and you don't leave. Because she fake it. She was faking it the whole day. She was like, oh, this and this and this. Yes, I love kids, And then you meet kids and then you meet the realness and you can't find the compassion to help them. They will eat your life. And they eat her life. Never see her ever since, ever. Laugh at her every day, boy. Every day I wake up, be like, thank God, I'm like, she bye. Go to work.
How long you been doing this now, though?
7 months. Yeah, been teaching for 2 years though. But this, like I said, I've been jumping up and down schools, testing out new things. Not testing, I had to work. But like, I was lucky enough to be able to go to a Basses school and then also go to like a super handicap school, for example. And then I was also lucky to go to what you call a middle bar school and all those things and get to test out everything.
Different experiences.
Yeah. That is just pure luck. I can't say that I work hard for that at all. I just come in and I'm just grateful for it.
That's dope though. I mean, I just understand. I was trying to see like how much cycles of kids potentially you've seen so far, the tensions and the if you say every 6 months they changes
cycle now.
It's like your second batch of kids.
Of course, some of the kids are there at different periods,
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like you would come in on a Monday and you would come in on a Wednesday, but you would have to leave and they would replace you already. So I would see right now I've seen like maybe 2 kids for like 6 months straight, and the rest have been cycled through. Either they did worse stuff and had to go to a jail cell, or they did really well and they had to go to a less harsh place. And then, so you would see them. 6 months is like the average, but not all of them is for 6 months. Some of them is 4, some of them 3, some of them for a week. And then it's like, wow, but you cool, bye.
Boy.
It's interesting to hear that perspective of like just from even a gym teacher, because a lot of times you see the gym teachers and you have gym class yourself and you're just thinking like, yo, being a gym teacher is probably the life. You just here chilling, watching these people, watching these kids sport and shit, and then after you just good to go.
Well, that's what I used to think. That's what I thought.
honestly, the 1 year I was doing school here in Amsterdam, yo, that gym teacher was not playing around. This man had I think he thought one of the students in his class was going to compete in the next Olympics, dog. This man
took his job seriously.
Right?
Boy, legit. Like one time he went mountain biking. I was like, yo, we ain't got no mountains here, dog.
We going mountain bike, we going hill biking.
Yo, this man made us, but he brought us certain places in the Netherlands, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
like these some of these teachers they're doing good jobs.
Yeah, some of them actually care,
And then some of them send in a letter and then never come back.
Is that I used to think of course you don't see the behind the scenes of the teacher. You see is as a child, and you come in and you see him teaching the lesson and then you get out. But you don't see that he had to do this 7 times today already. He done with your shit. He don't want to see anybody today. He got stressed home, And you come in and then he have to still put on a stupid smile and pretend that you are, like you are super special because you could do it. Although like 7 other people did exactly like you. You don't see that process. It's a lot. It's not faking it, but it's a lot of repetitive.
Especially if they're understaffed too, then it's like
exactly.
Boy, coming from a mother with a teacher, I know that. Sometimes when mother comes home,
don't want talking to me.
Yeah.
I don't want. Sometimes I legit fall asleep at work now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In my opinion, like primary school in particular.
Oh, for sure.
If you working at that age, high school, they all stressed.
Yeah, but I could tell you now for a way as not something like I respect the teachers that we have on the island much more. We the teachers there. Semenya, I don't know about Bonaire so much, but I know so the others. They have it so rough. It's not even funny. I went to stage there. That is, I have respect for them. I thought I was bad, right? I thought I was struggling and stuff. But when I went to see how they have to teach a class that don't listen at all, and they have to abide by the rules, but they didn't even have the proper training for it yet, and they get paid way less. What?
Yeah.
I was like, why you even here? Why you even teach me when I was a kid? I wouldn't do it.
But that's why you see like a lot of the teachers like that teaching on the islands have years of experience. First of all, they've been doing it for a while. Not a lot of them, but most of them. But what's happening now, what you're seeing is like a lot of the teachers are reaching that retirement age, and there's not a lot of young people coming into.
Because young people know teachers underappreciated and don't get paid right.
But that's true.
That's the saddest part. Like, people know teaching is not where it's at. If you're trying to get rich, if you like all the ideals that this generation like concerned with, the materialism and all of these type of things, teachers is not where it's at. If you're trying to do that, if you're trying to floss and ball and shine on everybody, like
you got to do something else. You got to be an engineer or something.
Be an author like this, man. I'm gonna be a billionaire by 27. That's what it was.
27. 27. I go retire. I go retire with $10 in the bank. I don't care. I retire. If I say I go retire. Leave my wife work though.
But like, if you want to become a billionaire, you don't want to live in Europe. Though. Go live in the States. Try your luck with guns and
go Colombia or something.
But yeah,
y'all ever thought about what y'all would do when y'all decide to retire?
I already know my plans.
What you gonna do?
Look, so I ain't decide my retirement plan. My grandfather already did that for me when he was living. Look, once I retire, I'm going back to Aruba. I got my land, I got my church, I got my house. Like, it's already there. Aruba is, if I fuck up here,
that's your backup.
I know that my grandfather made sure that we good. So in that sense, when I'm 50, 60, I tell everybody, like, I going back to Aruba.
Chill.
I just going to chill. I'm going to meet with my friends them every single day. If I can, stay with my family. If my family won't come visit me or come live with me in Aruba, there's a place for you.
Be family, right?
But
my new family knows, sir. Cousins you never met.
That's right.
But you never know. I got like 10 aunts, 27 to 30 cousins on my mother's side alone.
Well, I love family, but
family for days.
But my grandfather on my father's side, so we chilling.
That's
so
good.
Everything my grandfather did is only for a small group. But in that sense, like, I just go back to the island and enjoy the rest of my life. I just want to live like my father living, basically. That's my end goal.
Depending on how life goes, I don't plan to retire. Like, if I'm doing stuff like this, I don't ever see no need to retire. Like,
no, I mean,
certain creative pursuits and whatnot, I don't need to stop that. I mean, I don't know what I'd be doing, like, to make money and all those things.
Yeah, but I think he meant more like a government job, you know, like be working for somebody. Like.
Although I don't see myself working in, like, what I study in. Like, that's the other thing. Like, once I finish what I'm doing here, I can't go back to the island because I study in marketing and media and making movies and stuff.
It all
like,
depends on what it is you want to do. I mean, to me, the main thing with that is you would be more getting things started. You could be more the type of dude to implement.
Yeah, but then you're not going there when you want to retire, though. Then you have to go there when everything, not now, like when all the connections are already established and you're in your prime, but you're in your prime in the sense that you could take your base and move it somewhere else and then be the center of that place. But if you're already retiring and then wanting to build up something there, I would rather invest in some young fella and let he be the one starting it up there. So I just be the capital for the person.
All of that's part of it, mentorship.
You don't want to say age, sorry. We both struggling right now, my friend.
Nah, but I think in 2 years, I think I go. Now, if I do retire, because like what you say, like a creative pursuit. Yeah. I don't see that as retiring at all, because by retiring I'm thinking about teaching. I don't plan to be a gym teacher for the rest of my life, not because it's not fun, but because my knees can't handle that. My fingers could barely handle it. So, especially not in a youth detention, because you have to be strong, right? So I don't think I could reach 60 there for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So I would hope that when I retire, I could just
the book is the retirement plan.
Yeah.
Start from now.
Yeah.
Now another question. Other than the Experiment X-ray series, is there any other type of stories you want to tell, or is it like
definitely there are
anything in mind already, or is that like let me get the X-ray out done first and then I'm gonna focus on the new stories?
Well, of course, my laptop, at least my hard drive has everything. So if I ever die, open it, please. And then
make a backup of the backup.
I have 7 backups. But yeah, they have but there are more stories. So basically, Experiment X-ray is is a line, the main plot. This book will create a universe with its own laws and its own rules and its own way of connecting other stories into the same universe again. So it's like I creating
Marvel universe.
Yeah, not creating, but that it's before I even know about the Marvel universe, I already had it, So that's the only thing kind of pissing me off, like why everybody have the same idea.
It's kind of like Harry Potter.
That's how series work, though.
Yeah.
Like you create a world, you create characters, like that's how series work.
Yeah, so basically, like I'm making like the X series. It's gonna work like there's gonna be X series, and from when the X series are done, there will be small plot lines that you can pull from one of the characters or from anything that you can continue making a totally different story about. Like I have
Naruto.
No, that's still like
that's still the main series.
In the thing.
Yeah, true.
This one will be a total 180, 360 same direction. People always be like a total 360, but it's the same direction. People dumb. 180 other direction.
Would you say it's like like how you have Harry Potter and then you have the Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah.
Yes. It would be in that direction.
Yeah.
There would be some that would be connecting to it, but it would also be like Harry Potter, and then it would then connect to Fast and Furious, for example. So it would be like a totally different jump.
Okay.
But if you know the laws of the first
Marvel
one,
universe type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you got Black Panther, we got this like entire series, but it just kind of play into each other.
They might reference one another, but that's the farthest it will go.
Yeah, exactly. It would be totally. Of course, it would be some of them that would be that would connect to make it a nicer story. But if you know the rules of the universe from the first 3-4 books, then it would pave the foundation for the others already. How the story will work and what the laws are in that place.
You have a pirate story in there?
No, not yet.
You're looking for One Piece.
You're looking for it.
No, honestly, I didn't even think about that. I just like pirates.
Now I do have one with
Captain Jack cool, but I don't know about the rest.
No, but pirates
Captain
are not
Jack.
just like
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, Jack Sparrow. I thought the song, hey, yo, Captain Jack.
I know that's a
Bye. There's a lot of Jacks.
It's a lot of Jacks. Jack
Jack
Daniels.
Sparrow the real one. Jack Daniel he cool too, but Sparrow, I'm not right.
Yeah.
Like before we close off though, like I had a question I wanted to ask you. Since you're a runner and all this, I feel like this is kind of fitting. I mean, we could actually touch on one topic before we close off, because we already here.
Let's talk about 2 topics
for an hour and a half. But
let's talk about 2.
Wow, is it hour and a half already?
Yeah.
Wow, sorry.
It's a long one today, listeners.
I mean, it's an interesting topic. We dealing with this book and all that. There's a lot to get into, and like it seems as though you have a lot in mind planned for this book and everything. So
definitely.
This had to be a long one in my opinion.
It was needed.
The question I wanted to ask is, you familiar with Miss, wait, I forget her first name now, but last name Semenya. She's a South African runner, and there was a whole lot of controversy recently surrounding a court case that happened because she's a woman and she has I forget what the actual name of the disorder is, but she has like 3 times more, or allegedly she has like 3 times more, higher levels of testosterone than other Casper, Semenya, something like that was her name. But it was just a fascinating thing because she's been banned from the 400, the 800, and the 1500 unless she starts taking estrogen to lower her levels of testosterone.
Wow.
And it's like, this is how she naturally was born type of vibe.
I understand it. Okay, yeah.
Somebody phone ringing. No, I don't know.
Not mine.
But
Anyway, continue.
I understand how the controversy come up, because it's the same thing with the transgender thing. Like, if you change from man to woman, are you still allowed to compete in the female division? And I really want to start pre-fit fans that I ain't got yet. But I do not agree with that. Like, if you used to be a man and you transform into a woman, you do have more testosterone and you will blow out the competition, which is happening. If you look it up on YouTube, on the internet, there are men that have changed to women are destroying the competition now.
Weightlifting and stuff like that.
Breaking records, and it's not fair. And I do believe that they should all get banned, at least get thing for juicing, or make their own league. Yeah, make a league for them, because it's not fair.
That would be
it's not fair. Imagine Mike Tyson just be like, okay, put on a wig, change a little bit, take a bit of estrogen, and then go beat up some woman.
One hook.
Like we had a conversation recently that just imagine like NBA players that don't make it in the NBA
go to Joanna, man,
and then and the joke I made,
the
joke I made was, the WNBA
can get a lot more interesting.
Why people be dunking and shit? Why?
That's a terrible joke.
But you never watched the movie Joanna, man? That's exactly the plot,
Yeah.
Joanna, man, that's exactly the plot, and that's exactly what's happening.
Like, I just think
you can't make that movie. That movie get blown out the water.
That movie could not be made today.
No, but exactly what happened there.
With the title too, just the title.
Joanna, man.
Joanna. Okay, yeah.
But like now. Caster Semenya situation is crazy, because it's like they made these restrictions about the testosterone levels like only for the specific events that she plays in, but they're trying to say that is not like it's a general thing.
In her case, it's a little different in the sense that because she's like she was born this way. And
if you look at it like that, because imagine, like, for example, Usain Bolt, one of the reasons why he is so fast is because he's tall as balls. Like, you know how tall this man is?
The example they was given was Michael Phelps, because he and his arms longer than the average. So
exactly.
Like, his arms longer than most people for his height and stuff like that. Disproportionately long arms, on top of the fact that he has this condition that makes it so that his muscles don't produce as much lactic acid, which is what causes you to be sore and all of that. Yeah. So he don't get fatigued as much as people, but they celebrate him for his genetic freakishness and whatever.
You hushing him, boy. But it makes sense.
Genetic freak. I mean, like, not freak in a negative way, but it's like not the norm, the way his body is set up and stuff like that. But he's praised because his body works this way, and he break every world record and stuff in swimming, win every gold medal in swimming in every event that they had or whatever. But
the question is though, how big were the differences between first and second place?
I feel like with this young lady, at least as far as I've read on the story, as much as I know, then it didn't seem to me that she was that much better than any people. Like, she wasn't blowing people out of the water in that type of way. Like, she had the high testosterone. Yes, she was a good runner, but it wasn't like the crazy margins and nothing that you see like with some of the transgender or with some of the male athletes that transition and then go and compete in women's stuff and break. It wasn't looking like that type of situation, at least
then
to me.
I don't believe that they should take it off. If it's not such a big difference, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, the person who they always used to say if you work hard you would get somewhere, but without the proper genes talent, you're not gonna get anywhere. You know,
talent. Yeah.
So you can get somewhere, but
you're gonna
improve. But I mean, you're gonna be the best.
You're not going to be the best, sadly. But with that being said, right now we are in an age where we are so far in sports that people are, even though they don't want to, we're being genetically modified. You know, I would like make a child with not a long distance runner, and we will have the longest running baby forever. You know, that's how you get your genes, the good genes, and then get a better person. So eventually somebody will break a record. That is just a fact. Right now, we just have to deal with the fact that she is just kicking ass.
So all you have to do is strategically breed.
But you know the thing is, even sprinting, because she win the 1500, you say?
She competes in like the 4, 8, and 15. I think is like those.
Okay, those wicked, but but those things, those are not only run though. Those are also That's also a mental game. You could always flush her out by, because she is South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, let's say if you're doing another South African country, you only leave her in the thing. And you go with 3 South African runners, and they pull the pack faster than what she is used to get her tires in the beginning, and then you lose 2 of your own runners, but you also lose her, and having the rest of the runners just with a normal pacing could still beat her. You understand a little bit what I'm trying to go at? So they would, like, when you start, you would force her, like you would give her a rabbit and force her to chase down the first place, so then she could, and if she don't chase them down, they can get such a big head start that she would still lose. You know, so you would force them to put the pace so high that she can't brace. And then it's a strategy. So then your best runner chilling. They would slowly catch up and pass her at the end. That's how you could also do it. I mean, not everything is just pure muscle. At a certain point, none of the sports, and I had a debate with one of my gym colleagues. All sports, and no matter how good you get, the same thing with gaming, esports. At a certain point, you learn all the mechanics. In running, in jumping, in soccer, you learn the mechanics, and you cannot get any better in the mechanics. Now it's time to do strategy. Then it's time to think about what you do with this maximum capacity that you have. And that's the same with all sports except for sprinting. That's just dumb. Go. But for the other ones, it's a thought. Everything is a thought. That's why you have coaches. Otherwise, you would never need a coach.
True.
Sprinting is, different in my opinion. I mean, you're actually a runner.
No, I believe sprinting kind of dumb running too, but I never do sprinting.
I mean, it's one of those things where I always remember a time one of my partners on St. Martin, he never run track. We did volleyball playing people. He went down on the track one day and was just like, yo, I can race out you, man. And
just blow your
man, who was supposedly like the fastest on the track, he won by like maybe this much, if anything, and that's like having your tracksuit on, your cleats, and this dude just come down there in regular basketball pants, took off his shoes because he runs faster barefoot.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And the man just run like getting down in position and form on the blocks and nothing. And that's
just imagine if he had the technique and everything down.
If he learned and was trained and coached in track, I'm sure that just because, like you say, he just got a natural kind of speed. But
it's probably because he was barefoot, though. Everybody know about the barefoot.
Yeah, but I mean, you a trained track athlete with your full track suit on and everything, your spikes and all
spikes.
Actually, if you want to be really fast, you should cut off your foot and put prosthetics.
Yeah. What my name is? Mysterious. Poor little Tink.
Oh God!
Like, so you really want to run fast, you got throw your hands backwards and just lean like that. Now
okay, run like Shinobi. Like
Sonic.
Naruto!
Yeah, Sonic run like that too. So maybe, I guess it'll work. But what happened you want to touch on?
Boy!
I know.
We gotta talk about these people not taking their fucking shots, dog. Spreading this measles thing all over the Caribbean and the States. I blame the States, honestly. I blame the States because that's where the outbreak is like legit happening, and now we have a lot of tourists. We got American tourists going on different islands and on the cruises and all this stuff. I find, in my opinion, if you ain't taking a shot to protect the community, you're not allowed to travel.
I'll never be on board with them, those type of policies. Even the shit that they're doing where in Holland they're saying where if you're not vaccinated you can't come to this daycare and stuff like that. I see that they're starting to implement them type of shit. I'll never get on board with those type of things.
But at the same time, there's like, you have to understand.
I understand what the reason, the incentive,
like there's certain kids can't get vaccinated, so the more people vaccinated, the more the community is protected.
I understand all of that. I just can't. I don't agree with all these things. Are just like, okay, cool. Well, no choice. You don't need a choice. We decide for you.
I understand it, and I understand what you're saying, but if the result is
I understand
one person is in a,
and how all of
one
these
person
things
is
work.
in
If
a,
everybody is vaccinated, it protects against those people, the elderly, the young, who have who more likely to have compromised immune systems, and even if they're vaccinated or whatever, they might be able to pick it up and all these things. I understand how herd immunity and all of that shit works. I just don't agree with the government being like, okay, cool, well, you don't have no choice in this. Take these injections. Follow this plan.
I'm not saying.
It's like, yeah,
I'm
or
not saying,
you don't get kinderbijslag, or you can't get education, or you can't get this, and all of these things.
I understand that. Because how are you going to say, okay, look, if you don't take this, you're going to put all these people at risk? But okay, you know what? It's your choice. Okay, but you're allowed to go and risk all of these other kids that did do the proper process. That's like saying you know this person has a disease. Most likely, there's high risk that this person has a disease. You know this disease is highly contagious and it spreads like wildfire. Me as a parent wouldn't want that kid to be standing next to my kid. Sorry. If I vaccinated my child, if I didn't vaccinate my child, for example, I would understand why another parent would not want my kid to be sitting in the class. Because if his child gets sick, then...
Like I just said, I understand the whole process of herd immunity. I get how it works. I get why you would be upset. I get why you would implement all of these things, because you're trying to preserve herd immunity to protect those who can get the vaccination, who have the compromised immune system, all of these things. I understand all of that. I just don't agree with the government being like, cool, you have no choice in this matter.
I understand, but if the government doesn't do it, who is going to do it?
But the thing is, my question is, if, for example, we vaccinate Rashid, right? If Rashid is vaccinated, and I walk in unvaccinated, and I sneeze on him, he ain't gonna catch it, because he already vaccinated toch. The risk is, if you are not vaccinated yet, and I am vaccinated, I am not vaccinated, she is already vaccinated, nothing gonna happen to him. It's you who just come in.
It's also for those people who can't get vaccinated, because some people have immune deficiency, immune system don't work the right way.
So it's like people that you might have got the shot. It's the elderly, the young, the sick, those that have a terminal illness, that for anything that lowers your immune system to a point that even if you had the vaccine,
it would make it obsolete.
Exactly. Okay. And some kids their immune system are just low, like they can't handle the shot. So there's reasons why we do this. And with Kingsport, I understand, like, King does not want the government to dictate what I understand that. But there's certain things, like, if they don't do it, who is going to implement it? Who's going to make sure that the people that can't have no choice in the matter are protected? Right now in the States, like, this thing is breaking out like wildfire, because it's been this... Look, I understand the whole argument that, I want to protect my kid, and I feel that this is the right way to protect my kid. But look what the result of that is right now. You protecting your kid, ending up not protecting your kid. And now you as the parent,
super fucked up.
I understand.
My thing is, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe you were supposed to die. I know it sounds super fucked up. Maybe like natural selection, we went so far beyond survival of the fittest. If you didn't have the right genes, you just die, because we didn't have modern medicine and all these things. We didn't have proper hygiene and housing and food and all these things that we have in modern civilization. If you didn't have all these things, you would have, like, you have a peanut allergy, you would have been dead long time. It sounds fucked up. But there's certain allergies, is like, I don't think you was meant to live this long. I know it sounds super fucked up. I know it does. And it's not something people want to hear, to be like, oh yes, your child maybe is supposed to die. I'm not trying to say that I want anybody's children to die, but if you made the choice to not vaccinate your child, and this and this and this happened because you religious beliefs or whatever it might be that's stopping you from doing this and this, if your child died and those other, like, maybe that's what was supposed to happen.
I mean, I find we live in a modern world that this is not supposed to happen. This. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to.
What I see
but thinking from a bigger picture scale and not just from, oh, this is my son or this is thing. You don't know, like, that's the way I look at a lot of situations. Bad shit happens is not, like, there's no logical reasoning to say why somebody's child died because of a random, those mass shooters type of incident. You can't think of no logical reason, but it might be because, well, it sparked a conversation, like when you think on Emmett Till and all these certain people that die from police brutality or whatever. It's tragedy. It's a terrible, sad thing for that parent who lost a child or the brother, sister, the family members type shit. But for the bigger picture, that could have been a significant death that changed, I don't know, some public policy or something down the line in the future type thing. Maybe your child had to die for some anti-vaccination campaign that's going to be sparked up and all, like, I don't know, all of these things.
I like the way this is going because I see in two big different, like a natural, not natural selection, but you're going more towards the, how you say, nature, in the sense of, if we didn't have technology we had, if it wasn't as advanced as we were, how would it have looked? And then you have the same side, the other side where we have this shit, we are doing good, why not use it? It's like saying, you saying we have money,
and I agree,
let's use the money, let's eat, and then you saying, oh, we have money, but that's not how we were supposed to be eating, you know what I mean? And I go write a book about things. Two different sides. No, but it's very interesting to see. But I fall a little bit more on your side in the sense of, I even though I'm asthmatic and I was supposed to be dead long time, I ain't gonna lie, because I had I went through some asthma attacks. I'd be like, that was not for me. I was supposed to be gone. But I am grateful that we are to a point now that we can, certain people can live. But if you look at, for example, how long people live in, we could just change it around to the point where how long are people living right now? People are living up to like 90 years old, going up to 100. That was not the point. People are not supposed to
in this side of the country.
In this side of the country, yeah.
Because the states is actually the opposite.
Yeah, like
their life expectancy is going down, we're going up.
Yeah, but they look at it like that. But even so, we are not supposed to be living this long, though. People don't know what to do with their lives after they get. That's just, you keep your people alive while the natural thing to do is to literally die. But everybody is so scared of dying, they don't know what death does. That everybody going to be like, oh, I don't want to die.
It depends on which
overpopulation and these type of things as well.
It depends on which continent we're talking about. Because back in the day, the Asian side of the country is the people that were super healthy. They live towards 100. Yeah. It's again like we're very focused on our side, but it just depends on, like, we didn't know about health and everything back then. They weren't eating. They were eating so healthy they didn't even know, like, but they just were eating what they had around them. But it was that it was a perfect bubble.
Yeah, but depending on how far back you go, is like, it's the same for everybody in the sense, like, it's the level of civilization that we have at this point is very different than, let's say, if you go 2,000 years, but I know that's going super far back in the past.
Yeah, but that's not true though, because the Egyptians, for example, they was pretty how you say, they was pretty advanced, even though they're not as advanced as we with this, but we would never know because we was never there.
But even that's a whole nother topic in itself. You can get into the Egyptians and their timeline, because there's many disputed things about who built what, who created Egyptian civilization, the pyramids and stuff, the true dating of them. Is it even the people that we see now as Egyptians? Are those the people that was responsible for some of the great wonders that happened in Egypt? Supposedly there's a theory out there that takes the Sphinx, the dating of it, to something like 12,000 years ago. So this was a whole nother civilization that lived before, like, what we see as modern civilization, which is around the start of the Sumerians and stuff like that, 6,000 years, blah blah blah. Like, there's stuff that says, or theories at least, that suggest that we might, like, we just go through cycles in a way, basically.
Yeah.
We have a civilization,
that's the world does goes to,
and when we start back off completely again, and we were potentially more advanced than we are now. We just all got wiped out, and
had to start over.
Yeah, but potentially like hunter-gatherers, like the same way. We got all this great technology around us now, but we also live in a world where there's people like this North Sentinel Island, the case with a dude. There was a guy who wanted to go on the mission. The Christian missionary was trying to bring the Bible or whatever to these people in this uncontacted tribe and stuff like that.
We deserve that.
But we live in these modern times, and there's still tribes like that that's completely uncontacted, that live in the Stone Age type of thing. Who's to say that we all didn't get wiped out, all the people that live in cities? Because when you look at where the technology is, it's usually coastal cities. If you think on global warming and climate change and shit like that, New York and LA and Amsterdam, these places on the coast and shit like that is going to be the first to go. So the people who know how to survive, like those people on the North Central Island or whatever it was called, the hunter-gatherers, they know how to survive. They know how to prepare for cataclysm, because that's all they're doing every day.
I mean, but you know why they killed him? You know why they killed him, right?
What?
You know why they killed him, right?
You're a foreigner. You could potentially kill off all our people. We don't know what pathogens and all kind of things you have.
That's why they killed him. I just asking because
bring it all around.
They didn't kill him because they don't have any civilization or anything. They have structures. They have everything.
I didn't say that.
No, it sounded like they were they're not like savages.
We don't know what their civilization is like.
No, we do. They did.
How do you know if you're an uncontacted tribe? And when the whole situation happened, they was talking about, yes, we had like one time when he went 20, 30 years ago. We don't even know for sure how many people there, but you're telling me we know about their civilization? What do we know about it?
I mean, they know in sense of...
They know that people live there and they kill and they hunt stuff, yeah, but...
Oh, but if you take like a drone, for example, you pass a drone over, you can't see what they built.
Yeah, like they know. Like, trust me, it's not like they don't know. Like, they just don't have contact with them, but they know what's going on there. They know what's going on there. It's easy for them to find out. Like, if they want to find out what's going on there, they could just...
Yeah, they could look, but I mean... If you don't know the language, you don't know the customs, you could look and see.
In that sense, stuff, no. In that sense, no. But
you don't know them.
They don't know them, but
I get where you're coming from.
It's not like we don't like know what's going on there. It's just
the camera's still on. Oh,
no, the camera dead long time.
Like, I mean, we coming up on 2 hours. Like, coming up on 2 hours, so and we just going back.
Yeah, I think with that said, we could end the link up for today.
So I mean, Rainer, what was the last messages you would like to leave with our listeners? Let them know where they could get the book and follow you and all of that.
Online for sure. You get online. Experiment X series, ball.com. You get directly from me when I say here in the Netherlands. There, like I said, there's only like 12 left, something like that. And each one, I was supposed to sign yours, by the way. Each one that you buy from me directly, I sign them. And then I give them all
collector's items when you become famous.
Exactly.
Right. For sell it in a couple of years and make money.
Yeah, when I retire, you can retire right after.
Yeah, man.
And then after that, like, besides that, just stay posted on the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, because the bigger the following is, the more chances I get of getting a traditional publisher, then they could just like do everything for me. I could just go home and sleep. It'd be nice. And then if there's anybody out there that is looking to animate or help me animate, please get in contact with me. We could talk some stuff, to see help.
Or maybe even people that are looking for advice.
For sure. If you're looking for advice, I am not humble. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I am very approachable. I don't feel I better than anybody. So if you talk to me, I will talk back easy. It'll just be like, it might take a while because I'm very busy, but I always answer very truthfully. So if you need advice to the person, you're telling me somebody that's also writing the book.
Yes, Nelly.
Yeah, if you need advice, just give me a call. I sit right here.
Or just go by your house, knock on the door, he always...
Where your book, boy? Where your book? I live in Arnhem, beaten by the Burger King, Should I talk every day?
But yeah, I think that's about it. Or unless you got some more for the people. I just had a question and I lost it.
No, I hit 2 hours.
But anyway, Woods.
Bye.
Where you got the people and upcoming parties and whatnot?
I still don't want to talk about that because there's some stuff going on in the background. Mixtape coming out.
Hey.
Actually, the one mixtape became 2 mixtapes. It's a long story.
Save that for next episode or so.
But stay tuned. One of them going to drop soon. The other one is going to come out afterwards. I just realized that while working on the project was getting too long, and then
Had to split it up.
Yeah, because I asked people to send me their songs and send it. They did. So, so now the project, the project got a little bigger, and the genre is also very broad. So I had to focus a little bit more. That's why it's also 2 mixtapes, so that both genres can shine. I find so. Cool. So it's that. And look out for the parties. I gotta go home just now and work on some logos for 2 parties. So this also that. So stay tuned for that.
All right. And my plugs is always the same, or has been the same for the past couple of weeks. Make sure to check out all the Tree Conscious Cat songs, as well as those by Mr. King on streaming services, whichever one you prefer to use. Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, whichever one. Yeah, check out all the music. Songs like Is You Crazy, Real,
Is You Crazy,
FBR, Flyover, the Hottest on the Rock challenge I did. What was the other one? Criminal with me and Dollar G. Like, check out the music, man. There's a lot of stuff. Hope you enjoy it. And with all this, that's it. Unless Rashid, you got some plugs you want, I don't know if you want to let the people know anything.
Share the plug with the people, Rashid.
Not yet.
Don't get in. Cool. Well, I think everything that needed to be said has been said.
Except for that one question that you forgot.
Yeah, not that just lost.
We got a minute and a half. I might as well chill on my mixtape. Extreme X series. Coming out with its own mixtape.
Why not?
I need original soundtrack anyway.
That's the question I wanted to ask you.
Where's the
audiobook? The audiobook. Like, I mean, if you need a record,
Well, I have the best lisp in the world, so the R, but I would love to have it actually audiobooked.
I mean, not an authentic way. It's more authentic if you got an actual author reading the book to the people, in my opinion.
Not really.
I always thought
if you... Like, I feel if it's something that you're real passionate about, the way you might read it, the way you might bring the message across, might be different than if you get some random person who don't know the story, who ain't really invested in it like that, to read it, that kind of vibe. So, if you need a place to record,
I got you, pal.
Yeah, feel free.
In that sense, yeah.
But that's something you're interested in doing, though, like making an audiobook form of it?
Yeah, it's definitely. A friend of mine told me he would not buy it unless it was an audiobook. So I was like, dog, why are you so wicked to read it? But
I don't understand some people just don't like to read.
It's true.
Honestly, if it was an audiobook form, I would have preferred an audiobook versus a physical book. Like,
you're right.
I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, so just listening to audio content for me, like, that's my preferred method to read and just consume content in general.
Me and you are complete opposites. I bought like one audiobook of my favorite book, and I listened to maybe one chapter, and I was like, I just gonna read the book.
48 Laws of Power, I listened to the audiobook. I never read the book. I bought the book after and stuff so that I could read it, and it took down the YouTube link from it's copyright.
Copyright,
I can understand why they took down the link.
Yeah, so I actually bought the book after, but... Anyway, that was just my thoughts on audiobooks. We hit 2 hours though.
Yeah, now we hit 2 hours.
The goal has been achieved. Y'all can see it, but achievement came up on the side of the window.
Did it?
Got a trophy and thing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, we've been here for long enough, so I think everything has been said. I said that already, but
said again.
We'll see y'all the next time we link up, people. Peace out.